Good morning, everyone. It's Beth Kozik from Elegant Greetings. Thank you for joining me. It's Saturday morning at 9 a.m., so it's time for another catalog Copycat cards. First things first, this was the card that we created last week from the holiday catalog, and I had asked for everyone to comment within Facebook and also YouTube, so an awful lot of you replied this week, so I certainly appreciate all of your kind comments, and if you could continue to do so, that would be wonderful. I've got all your names in here, so I'm going to draw for the lucky winner who's going to receive this card in the mail. And the winner is Jackie. So I will send that to you in the mail on Monday. So thanks again, everybody. Please keep commenting and liking and loving, and also if you share it, I would appreciate that as well. All right, let's get started. Our card today comes from our holiday catalog, and we're going to duplicate this project right here. And to me, it looks like there is a box that was created and not a card, but I'm going to turn it into a card. And by the way, I have a resource as a demonstrator for Stampin' Up! For any project within any of our catalogs to be able to look up what projects or what pieces and parts are used for each project within every single catalog. So if you're ever stumped, if you want to duplicate something and you can't quite figure out what color was used or which paper, which stamp set or dies, I can look that up for you. So keep that in mind. All right, let's look at what we're going to use today. This is the Wishes and Wonder bundle. It's 10% savings if you order the stamp set and the dies together. It's $47.50. And I just love the look of this. It's very nostalgic, kind of old-fashioned with the sleigh, the special delivery, the font, the deer. This all is very nostalgic to me, the look of it. And the dies, of course, are as well. Here's a few additional dies that go with this set. Okay, so let's start by showing you what pieces we're going to use. The designer paper, I'll leave this here so you can keep watch. So the designer paper comes from this package, which is 'Tis the Season, 6x6 designer paper, all two-sided, all red and green, very traditional looking patterns, but very pretty. And there's 48 pieces in a pack for just $11.50, so it's a really good value. And the piece that they selected is this one. So I've already cut it down. We have it down to 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So that's our designer paper. The base of our card is garden green, so it's 8 1/2 by 4 1/4, which makes a square card. So we're going to score it at 4 1/4 as well. And then there is a piece of vellum here. Vellum is, for those who don't know, it's like a clear plastic kind of a cardstock. These come in sheets of 8 1/2 by 11. They're cut just like regular cardstock, and they're opaque, so they're kind of they're nice. They add like just an opaque look to a card. So this is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. We have a piece of Whisper White, which is 1 by 3 1/4. That's going to be for our sentiment. And then we have a scrap of any metallic. This is our brand new brushed metallic cardstock, so that's a little scrap of that. This is a scrap of shaded spruce, which is a little deeper bluish, a little bit more blue color. We're going to use that for the greenery here. And then a scrap of Whisper White for the deer. Okay, so I think we'll do our stamping first and get that going. So we're going to take our scrap of white and stamp with black. Oh, also we're going to be using some blends markers, so that's why we're using the Memento black ink. Whenever we use alcohol markers or the blends, we need to use this special Memento ink. It's designed to be used with the alcohol markers so it doesn't smear at all. So there's our deer. I'm going to let that dry for just a quick second. And while we're stamping, let's go ahead and do our sentiment. I have shaded spruce ink, and here is our scrap for our sentiment. May the wonder of Christmas stay with you throughout the coming year. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. And then we're just going to stamp this right here in the middle. So straight up and down, give a little pressure, and then lift off. We never want to rock our stamp. So we'll let that dry as well. Now our deer is going to be cut out with a die. So I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine here, which is brand new from our catalog. I hope you can see this. And again, our new machine just came out in June. Here it is. Looks like this. It's a wonderful machine. And it does die cutting and embossing. So to cut out our deer, let me find my die. Here we go. So the exact die is right here. So we're going to place that right over our deer. And this is the new metallic or magnetic plate, which allows us to lay our dies right on it over a cardstock, and it will keep our die exactly where we placed it. So I don't have to use any sticky notes or any other means to keep that in place. Now we're also going to cut out several of these, they're like ferns or leaves. And the nice part about these is that they cut and they emboss at the same time. So I'll show you what happens with that in just a moment. So we're placing those face down on our cardstock. And then, I don't know if you noticed, but there are some little gold round circles on this card. So if you look at this die, guess what that makes? All different sizes. And we're going to place that right onto our piece of metallic cardstock. And we're going to cut all those out. Alright, so we have our base platform, we have our die cutting shim, we have our magnetic plate, and all of our cardstock and our dies right in place, and then we place one of our clear plates, cutting plates over that. We're just going to crank this right through. Super easy, super smooth. And what we have here, move this out of the way, all of our pieces. So here's our deer. So he got cut out exactly right around the edges. And then we have, oh, look at all these little guys. So what ends up happening here is these are going to be our embellishments. So sometimes we apply gold dots or gemstones or glitter stones, all different kinds of embellishments. Well, this way we can cut them out of our cardstock. A little tedious to put them on, but I'll show you a trick for applying those. And then here are our leaves. So see how they popped right out of the dies? We get a nice even cut. And by the way, this magnetic plate is self-healing, so you can see there's some impressions on there, but it's designed for the dies to cut right into it. See how these are embossed and cut all in one. Isn't that cool? So I've already gone ahead and cut these out, so I will show you those finished in just a moment. And then our deer, we're going to use some blends markers. So this is the light crumb cake, dark crumb cake, and our blends come in a light and a dark version, each color. So they're very easy to blend with one another as well as with other colors. So in the interest of time, I've already gone ahead and I've colored that. Gave it a little shading. So our deer is ready to be applied to our card. All right, and then next, these are the leaves. So what I did with these is I used a little tiny bit of our green multi-purpose glue. After I cut them out, I put a little drop of glue. And then I used my Take Your Pick tool to pick up these pieces. So let me show you. So if we put a little dab of glue. And then this end of our Take Your Pick tool is a sticky putty. So all I'm going to do, just like I would do with a gemstone or rhinestone or whatever, it ends up stuck right to the putty on there. And then I can place it right onto where I want it on my project. Super easy, huh? Okay, so I think we have all of our pieces ready. Let's go ahead and assemble our card. I'm going to bring the catalog back in here so we can watch what we're doing here and mimic. Okay, so first step is our base, and we're going to apply our designer paper. So let's get some adhesive on here. I'm using my craft silicone sheet, and that helps to dispense the seal, the Stampin' Seal, very evenly. And I want to get this real close to the edges because this is going to cover the entire card front. So this is exactly 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and that's the same size as my card base. So I want to line that up. Okay, so there's that. Now our vellum, we are going to attach our sentiment. Now you might wonder, how did I figure out the dimensions of everything? Well, I know that this is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then just by judging what I see in the catalog, the vellum is approximately maybe a 3/8 or 1/2 inch smaller. So I just basically kind of cut that a little bit smaller. And then for the white piece with our sentiment, I can see there's a little bit of space on either side of the vellum. So I just kind of guesstimated this would be about 1 inch in width. And also by looking at the shape of my stamp, I'm able to kind of guesstimate. Okay, so the thing about vellum is that the adhesive that we place under it will show through. So we have to strategically place that. First things first here, let's get the sentiment on there. And then we're going to wrap some cording around. So this will go down here. I'm just evenly placing that. All right, and then the coordinating ribbon and cords. This is Wonder of the Season Ribbon Combo Pack. So it's a 2-pack, and we get this beautiful satin, green satin thick ribbon, and a spool of this gold twine, which is just gorgeous. So I've already cut a couple of pieces of the twine, so we're going to apply that. We want to make a bow, and the way to easily make a bow, instead of going all the way around our card, we are going to simply make a faux bow, like a fake bow. So I'm going to apply a little bit of adhesive back here. Actually, I think I'm going to use a glue dot instead. And I'm going to place that glue dot right about here on the end, so it will be not very visible. So 2 glue dots. And then I'm going to wrap this around. And I've cut it just a little bit wider than my card so that I have enough to tuck around the back side and stick onto the glue dot like that. So if we try to go around with a piece of ribbon or cord, usually there's a gap. We can't quite get it tight enough. So this way it gives that illusion, but we cheat it a little bit. All right, and then here I've cut another piece. I'm going to tie this on and make a bow. So super easy. This gold ribbon is so pretty, or gold cording. Okay, so there's our bow. Now I think we are ready to attach this to our card front. So I'm going to place the adhesive in the back here where there is the white cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to put it there, as well as I'm going to guesstimate where my deer will be, approximately there. And then I have some greenery I'm going to put, so basically right about here. I'm going to place a little bit more adhesive. Okay, because I know that things are going to cover that. So that will hold this in place on my card. Oops, now my cording is a little bit loose. There we go. Okay, so that's going to hold the vellum in place. And now the easiest way I have found to add things that are like greenery that's behind another image is to actually put the adhesive on the image itself. So I'm going to apply, my adhesive is not cooperating today here, so I'm going to add some adhesive along here, which will not only help to apply that to my project, but I'm going to add these right to the back side like this. So see, I have the adhesive on the back, and then I'm just going to stick on where I want these green pieces to go. I'm going to put that a little closer. And I'm just looking on the catalog and copying what I see here. Here's another one up here in this corner. All right, so there's two. And then this one goes about there. And then the fourth one I'll place down here. All right. Whoops. Might have to put a little adhesive back here. Maybe a glue dot. That might be easier. All right. Whoops. Wrong side. There we go. Okay, that's going to hold that nice and tight. And then our final step is to attach this to the card. And I think I'll use some dimensionals. Whoops, didn't quite get that in the right spot. There we go. All right, dimensionals. I'll add a few of those. These are two-sided sticky pop-ups. One there and one there. So we'll take the backs off of here. I think I have everything on the card now. And there we go. What do you think? Is that pretty? Here's the catalog card, and here's my version. Well, I'm in love with that. I love the gold, I love the accents, I love the cording. This is just a really pretty Christmas card. So if you'd like a chance at the raffle to have this mailed directly to you, please be sure to leave a comment on Facebook or on YouTube. And also, if you could share on YouTube, that would be wonderful. I'm looking for more subscribers to get a little bit more exposure for my business. If you'd like any of the products you saw today or any other products that Stampin' Up! Sells, I'd be happy to help you with your order. Just send me a text or an email and we will get that completed for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.